Yoo-hoo! So, in this situation, we're going to be talking about adding fractions, okay? So the main hint that we got here is that you need to have the same denominator, okay? So as you all are aware, the top number is your numerator, the bottom number is your denominator, okay? So I just think of the word denominator sounds like down, okay? So it's at the bottom. Now in this scenario, that's just kind of showing you what the numerator is, which is 1, the 6 is the denominator. Now go through this example. You've got here 1/5 plus 2/5. Now, can you add these two fractions is the question. You need to be asking yourself these kind of things. Okay, can you? Okay, what's the rule with adding fractions? You need to have the same denominator, okay? So in this scenario, you have two fractions with the same denominator. So that means you're gonna add the top two numbers, which is gonna be 3/5. So that is your answer for that question, okay? Because they have the same denominator. Going through the third one, you got here 2/3 plus 1/5. Now, what are two numbers here? How could you add these two fractions? Now, a lot of people, what they think is, oh, cool, that's going to be equal to 3/8. So they think the answer to this question is 3/8. That's not actually the case. You got to think about the rules with adding fractions. And this also comes with subtracting fractions as well. You have to have the same denominator. You have to have the same number as the denominator for both these fractions to add them. So, what could you put here and here as the same denominator? What can they both go into? What's a common number that they could both go into? So, you got here 3, so you can write down the actual multiples of 3. You got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. And you also have a 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, it looks like basically they have 15 as a common multiple. So what you could do is you can change this to a 15 and that to a 15 as well. How are you going to do that? Okay, you're going to have to multiply. So you multiply by 5 and you multiply the top as well by 5. That is another rule. When you change the denominator, you must also change the numerator, which is the number 2. What are you going to multiply this by? Okay, 5, they can both go into 15. You're going to multiply this by 3 and then this by 3. What do you have now? 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. Plus 1 times 3 is 3. 5 times 3 is 15. So a lot of people don't do this step, which is totally fine, okay? It's how good you are with your multiplication, your times tables, okay? So if you're good at thinking, oh, cool, 3 and 5, they can both go into 15, and you go straight to that step, you don't have to do this step, okay? So your multiplication, your times tables is really important. It's like your alphabet, pretty much. So you can go straight to thinking, okay, they can both go into 15. Now what's the next thing when you add two fractions? Okay, you can add the two numbers at the top, the numerator. So 10 plus 3 is 13 over 15. A lot of people write 13 over 30. They add the two bottom numbers as well, but that is not correct. You don't add the denominators, okay? It's just going to be the numerators. Going to the fourth question here. In this scenario, when you add these two fractions together, what can these two numbers, what's a multiple of both these numbers, a common multiple? Okay, we're looking at the left-hand side, it's a big number. What about the right-hand side? Okay, we've got here 12, we've got here 3. Okay, so to add two fractions, they need to have the same denominator. Now you think, oh, okay, what can 3 go into, what can 12 go into? Oh, it sounds like 3 is a common multiple of 12. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to multiply this side by 4 and the top by 4. Okay, so that's going to be 12. Once that becomes 12, can you add these two fractions? Yeah, you can. You can add this fraction and you can also add this fraction. So what's that going to be? That's going to be 5 over 12 plus 8 over 12. Can you add these two fractions now? Yes, you can. 5 plus 8 is 13 over 12. And what we call this is called an improper fraction. okay? Because the top number, the numerator, is bigger than the bottom number. And you can change that into a mixed number as well. But we're just going to leave it like that for now. That basically is your answer. Cool. Awesome. That's it.